Hi guys, and welcome to one of my most anticipated reading vlogs. I've been waiting honestly for months to record. We're going to be reading and crafting in today's video, wherein basically I'm going to be reading all of my favorite genres and crafting in the sense that I'm crocheting this scarf I started a few months ago in a series I began again a few months ago. So it's finally time. Let's just directly hop in because I've been waiting for so long to do this. I'm so excited. Alright, so the idea basically behind this is that we're going to be reading romance, fantasy, and a mystery thriller, kind of listening to them as an audiobook because those are my favorite genres ever, while continuing to crochet the scarf I started a few months ago in a different video. Now today's video actually is a twist on that video from a few months ago because that video was reading every single genre while crocheting a scarf, and now I'm not really interested in every single genre because some of them aren't my favorites. So instead today we're doing only my favorites to kind of give myself a break because I am on vacation and I did intend to get this done a lot sooner than right now. I started it back in January. I'm not even a tenth of the way I want to be, and it's May right now. This is supposed to be like a birthday gift for my mom at the end of her month when it's her birthday. So let's just directly start with it because I need to rush now. I need to scram if I want this ready by the time her birthday rolls around so I can give it to her, and I am on vacation now, so we want to take it easy by only listening to my favorite kind of books, which is why we're doing my favorite genres. So let's just directly get into it because it's storming outside now. If you can hear anything, honestly it's probably the storms. I'll put in a clip. And so, perfect weather to start this challenge. We're going to kick it off with a mystery thriller because that's really just what I'm in the mood for right now. And so, I'll go look through my TBR, pick something out, pick an audiobook I think, pick this back up, continue up with it, and I'll catch up with you guys hopefully in a couple hours when I have more updates and something firmly concrete to come speak to you about. So see you guys in a bit. This is gonna be such a fun, exciting video, and let's just start. Hi guys, so it's now the next evening. I listened to so much yesterday to the point where now if I literally lock it for the next hour or so, I should be done with our book, and that would be really nice because I have some decent progress made on our scarf as well. But now for little book updates or whatever, I started with the thriller because it was storming most of yesterday and the previous day, and it looks like it's going to start again in like an hour or so. So it's not really the vacation summary vibes I was looking for because it's literally just raining the entire time. So I figured I'd get cozy with like a thriller, and I figured I'd pick up a Freida McFadden because whenever I read this woman's books, they're either hit or miss for me. These days it's generally a miss, and the last few ones I've read by her are a miss, but they still have me guessing despite the fact that they aren't that great or whatever, and they keep me on the tips of my toes, and they are very interesting to read regardless. So I started this one called Wanna Know a Secret. It's very interesting, the premise of it, so I figured I have to pick it up, and I've been listening to it on 3x speed. There's not a lot left now, so like I said, I should be done soon. But for a quick premise about it, it follows April Masterson. She's kind of like this YouTuber, so I thought that would hit kind of close to home or whatever, except she is kind of like a YouTuber for food, so like a food tuber or something, I don't know what it's called. And she has this YouTube channel wherein essentially she kind of bakes like baked goods and stuff, but she tells them wanna know a secret, and then that secret she gives them in each video is the secret to kind of perfecting the recipe or whatever she's showing in the video. So if she's teaching you how to make brownies in her video, she's gonna give you the wanna know a secret of how to make the brownies taste amazing by say adding like extra chocolate in her cocoa powder or something like that. And on the basis of that, she's essentially running her show by giving secrets out to her cooking and making your goods as good as hers. So essentially she's running that show on the basis of all of that, except one day, now keep in mind she's kind of got celebrity status in her little small town. It's like a gated, extremely privileged and rich community, and she kind of gets this text wherein someone's texting her and saying, wanna know a secret? Your son is not where he says he is. So hopping off of that train, essentially someone keeps texting her and leaks her own secrets to her. So there's actually someone out there, this anonymous person, who knows all of April's deepest, darkest secrets that could essentially break her family, break her marriage, kind of ruin her YouTube show and her internet stardom or whatever. And so she needs to shut it down, except she doesn't know where these messages are coming from. And on the other hand, she has this like new neighbor who moved in, and the neighbors are really sweet to start with, but then there's suspicious things coming up, and suddenly she starts suspecting it's them kind of trying to mess with her life, but now she's trying to understand why. And along with that, in the background there's other things that they're coming up from the past or whatever, skeletons in her closet being dug right back out. coming back to haunt her, and so all of these secrets essentially could ruin her life, potentially have her end up in jail. So she doesn't know what to do about it because she's being threatened online, but she doesn't know how to work ahead from that. And so this book goes from there, and it basically takes a twist on her YouTube video thing. So instead of her giving secrets in her YouTube videos, it's that person saying, want to know a secret, and leaking out her own secrets out. And it's very interesting, I will say. I've read so much to the point where I'm so interested to see where this goes. It's definitely giving me a lot of potential. I've heard of the book Such a Good Family. I read that last year. This book is giving me the potential that one I expected from, and that one I didn't really enjoy, but this one I'm having such a good time. I actually want to see what happens next, and I'm so excited because I have a couple guesses, but I know Freida's probably going to pull it out of the bag. There's so many open loose ends. I can't wait to see how it connects, and so far it's very interesting because it has me on the edge of my seat. There's honestly crazy shit happening everywhere to the point where I don't even know who to trust anymore because it's wild, honestly. So it's a good one, but it's one of her older books, and I am trying to get through her backlist, so I'll see how it ends up. But so far so good. Hopefully it continues the same way. It's keeping me entertained enough that I can't put it down, and in a couple sittings only I should be able to finish it now. So I'm gonna go keep doing this. See you guys hopefully in a little bit once I'm done with the book, which won't be in very long, and then we'll come speak about it and pick out my romance read next, because now I'm in the mood for romance, and so we shall see where it goes. But now quick update on the scarf that I'm making. I don't know if I mentioned it or whatever, but my mom is actually not in town, and this is the first time in like literally forever that she's actually left on like a trip by herself. So when she comes back, I want this ready before then so that she doesn't actually know what I'm working on for her birthday, and it's kind of like a surprise. And I just found out she's probably coming back tomorrow. I haven't confirmed it, but it looks like she is, which means we're gonna have to lock in, probably pull like an all-nighter today, maybe 24 hours or something, because I know she's gonna be, her flight takes off around 7 in the morning, which that's crazy. She'll be here by 11, and that literally means I need to rush things up. So we shall see how this goes. We'll see where we move ahead from this, but so far it looks like I'm gonna have to continue listening to this book and then the romance and the fantasy in today's day only, so I have enough decent progress made on this, because if this doesn't turn out the way I want it to, I can't really work on it in front of her, because then the whole point of the surprise is ruined. So I'm gonna have to buck up now. I'm actually locking in and like seriously ready to sit down and do this. So see you guys hopefully in a bit when I have more updates on this book. But so far so good. I'm having a great time with this video, and I'm so excited to see where this takes us. See you guys in a bit. Bye. Alright guys, so it's not very much later, it's still bright outside, and I'm so happy about the fact that I'm actually getting shit done, because locking in now, I managed to finish Wanna Know a Secret, whatever that's called, and progress is made on this. I think I've made a lot more progress since the last time I came in, and I'm so happy about it. I feel like the more I work on it, the more I'm increasing my speed, and I will have like a b-roll clip of how much I've gotten done by the time I was done with that book, so we can compare. But so far now about the book finally, I'm just gonna say it, my last update was very excited because I was having a good time with it, and right now that I've finished it, I don't know what to say. My mind is honestly reeling, but before anything I'm just gonna quickly say it. This was not my favorite Freida book. It was a bit of a disappointment, and I'll preface that by saying the first 60 to 80% I was engrossed in it. I was so excited, but I hate it when in books you get like different POVs that kind of negate everything that happened in a previous perspective. Does that make sense? So the person is deluded, you aren't getting all facts, and because of that, I don't know, I just hate it when that happens, because now my mind is spinning. I'm trying to make sense of it, and so by the end of it we got like somewhat of a conclusion that I kind of guessed in my first try anyway, and so I'm not really happy about the fact that I guessed it. But not just that, the conclusion, it didn't really make a lot of sense because it doesn't line up with what we know of the characters, and then once you end it off, there's like an extra epilogue at the end, and that just puts everything else for a spin. I've noticed with Freida books, she kind of makes you think this one conclusion that you wouldn't have guessed in the first place, and then in her epilogue she ends on this like, I guess, open-ended ending or whatever, wherein it's open to interpretation. Except the way she handled it in this book, I'm not a fan. Honestly, I think I hated it because it was good. It had so much potential. It wasn't the domestic drama that, I was expecting it to be. It was so much better than that. I was hooked. But then once you got resolution of it, I was just so disappointed because that wasn't really what I was looking forward to. I feel like everything was, squashed out. There's so many plot holes left open, so many threads still unexplored, so many things that actually don't line up from the conclusion we got to what was actually being explored in the story. And then the epilogue at the very end just made me mad because that makes absolutely no sense from what we've gathered from the story, and so I don't really know what she was trying to do with this book, but it's not good. I'm so sorry. I actually hated it. I had such a good time with the first half, but now the ending, especially when we start getting the perspective of the other person or whatever in it, I hated that. I hated it so much. I can't believe all of that happened, and it feels like a waste of my time. And so here I am coming in to say maybe 3.5 stars. I'll have my final rating while I'm editing, but this was a disappointment. Hopefully the romance won't be, so I'm just gonna move on because I am in a hurry and rush. I don't want to be procrastinating. I need to get this done before my mom comes back in town, and so I'm gonna go do that. But so far I'm just so mad because there's so many open conclusions you can gather. There's so much she hasn't tied up from this book that I hate it. I can't believe all of that happened. I can't believe I wasted my time over it. But yeah, wasn't the best book, wasn't my favorite by her, and so I'm really mad. Hopefully the romance will make up for it. Haven't really decided what I want to read yet for it, so I'm gonna go look at my TBR. I'll be back in a couple seconds or whatever, have some updates on that for you. But yeah, so far I'm really hoping this video takes a better turnaround because I'm not happy with what we just read. Hi guys, so it's been a few hours since my last update to you. Last time I came and spoke was I think earlier in the evening. It was still bright outside. Now it's pitch dark. It's actually past midnight. I wish I was joking. I'm really not. I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm dying at this point, but we're still gonna keep going. For context, before anything, if you can hear noises in the background, they're all watching a movie out there, so hopefully I don't get copyrighted because it's loud enough that it's probably getting picked up by the camera. But regardless of that, I wish I was watching that movie with them because the last thing I want to do right now is crochet. If any of you do any sort of like art or whatever, when you look at your art too long, you actually start to get sick of it to the point where your, I guess, vision goggles or whatever are getting messed up by the annoying specs or whatever, wherein you just cannot look at it anymore without wanting to throw up because you've been working on it for so long. And it's fine in retrospect, it's just you can't do that anymore. I don't know if I'm making sense right now. Hopefully I am, but that's the feeling I'm getting with this. So even though I'm having like an alright time crocheting, I'm getting decent enough progress, I still just don't want to do it right now because I'm sick of looking at it. It should have been done like a long time ago, and I'm giving up. But this is like the progress I have so far. We're still gonna keep going because listen, this is all I have to do right now. This is gonna be so worth it when I get to see the look on my mom's face when I surprise her on her birthday with it. But to actually do that, I need to get this done. So sob stories aside, I am getting this done regardless, no matter what, tonight, because she's coming back from a trip tomorrow. I don't really have another choice. I have to do this if I want to get it done, and I'm desperate enough that I will. But probably also pulling an all-nighter, so that equates to more reading, which is gonna be fun for the video, I suppose. But now, sob story aside for the crocheting or whatever, despite the fact that my arm literally feels like it's gonna break off, I'm gonna get back to it soon. Gonna lock in because I know my hand is hurting. I know I'm exhausted, but it's gonna be worth it. Now switching on to books, they are keeping me entertained enough that I'm invested, that I want to get this done, but not that much to the point where I want to lock in like crazy and actually get it done. So the books aren't that great, but they are good enough in the moment. And the one I'm reading right now is a complete 360 from our previous book. I feel like our previous book, Freida always writes like stupid female characters. I'm so sorry, the main girl in that was so insufferable. I didn't actually enjoy it very much, but this one I picked a romance, and I'm so happy with my choice because I'm having such a great time right now. I feel like this was the right decision, and so it's better than that. It's not the best book I've ever read, but it's still better to the point where it feels like an upgrade, and I'm happy about my decision. Yesterday I actually watched the movie Legally Blonde with my little sister for the first time, and so I was kind of in the mood for something that gives you like 2000s movie aesthetic, and this is kind of giving it. Basically, it's called Meet Me Halfway. It's kind of like a watered down version of Wait For It by Mariana Zapata, if you've read that book. And if you're a Mariana fan, do not come for me, but I think I'm enjoying this so much more than that book. I read that like a couple months ago, and recently I've also been thinking about certain scenes from it excessively. Maybe it means it's time for a reread, but at the point when I actually read it, I didn't really enjoy it very much. Like, it was a good book, but it wasn't like the best book I've ever read. However, I feel like that book, if it was cut shorter, I would have had so much of a nicer time. And this book, some scenes actually feel like exact copycats of the one from that book. They're kind of different or whatever, but at the same time it feels like it's taken from there, and it's cut short, so the excessive, I guess, slice of life, you're not getting enough of that, but you're getting enough connection with the characters that this is giving me what I wanted Wait For It to give me. And so again, Mariana fans, do not come after me, but I'm loving this so much more. The way I'm saying it right now, it sounds like I'm kind of like complaining about it, but I'm really not. It's just my midnight brain trying to process and struggling with that because I'm tired. But surprisingly surprisingly, I'm having such a great time because romances aren't hitting for me recently, but this one's really doing it. Essentially, it follows single mom Madison. She has like a kid really young, so she's like a teen mom or something, and now she's in her 20s. She has like a, I guess, 8-year-old son or something like that, and she's living life all right, but at the time she had him or whatever, she was also going through like an abusive marriage or whatever, and like a lot happened in her life very young, to the point where now, even though she's in her early 20s, she's looking after a child, she's stressing about 3 different jobs, she's taking online school courses, there's a lot on her workload, and so she's honestly just fed up with her life and she's tired of it, but she's still persevering on. And so because of everything culminating to the way it is and her past experiences, she doesn't believe in love and magic anymore, and she's just done with everything, and she's just given up. All right, so one day she and her kid end up moving to this new house in this new neighborhood because they needed like a switch up or something, and when they get there, she kind of gets this like rude note from her neighbor, and now Q Garrett, who is her hot grumpy neighbor, she does like the way he looks. However, she can't really do anything about it because she doesn't believe in love anymore and she doesn't have the time for it anyway. But then slowly they start building this friendship over time or whatever. He starts lowering his defenses, his walls, she kind of starts opening up, there's stuff going on, but can they really do anything about it because they both have like heavier pasts and heavier backgrounds. And if you want to read this, please look up trigger warnings. However, if I would have known this book was a slow burn, I would have picked it up so much sooner than I did right now, because this is eating so hard. It's everything. I'm having such a good time. I think I'm like 60% of the way through, and this one scene happened specifically that I had to put it down and like update you, but I'm coming in to do that right now because it feels perfect for this video. Basically, since she's like a single teen mom or whatever, she kind of has this habit when she crochets what we're doing right now, baby blankets, and she kind of donates them to other single teen moms to kind of help them out. Except she is telling him one day that she isn't able to meet her capacity anymore, so she had like a certain number, a goal she wanted to donate, but then now she can't hit that anymore because she's too busy with work. So in the scene, he ends up going and learning how to crochet, helps her in making baby blankets just so she can hit her goal, and he can see her kind of getting passionate and excited about it because he wants to make her happy, and he knows that this is genuinely something she enjoys doing. This man learned crochet for her. As someone who crochets, it's borderline painful. It takes so long. Me in this moment, I'm going to be complaining about it because I've done so much of it already that I'm sick of it. But honestly, it's harder than it looks. And so the fact that this man learned it for her and is doing it alongside her just so she can hit that goal, it felt perfect. I had to come in right now. I'm swooning so freaking hard. I'm having such a good time. I can't wait to see where this goes. It's such a slow burn because even right now, 60%, nothing has happened between them. But the small bits, it's got yearning and it's filled with it. It's filled with angst. So if anyone wants that, it's so good, but it's got emotional depth too. So it's definitely giving me everything I like in romance, and it's been a while since a book made me swoon this hard, make me feel this way. So I'm having a good time. I'm so happy about this pick, and I'm so happy I, decided to go with it because I haven't heard such great things about this, but reading it right now, I'm gonna have to say I'm disagreeing with the masses or whatever because I'm actually having such a great time. So I'm gonna go keep reading, but so far this is everything to me. I love all the characters. I'm having such a good time. Even her best friend, she's such a queen, having so much fun. I feel like there's everything going in favor of this book. I don't even have a single criticism, and usually I do. Not a single ick has come my way, despite the fact that I'm so picky and cringy with my books, with my ratings. And so this is currently giving me perfect book, and we'll see the way it continues, but so far this video is off to a better start than it was earlier, and things are definitely picking up. So I'll see you guys hopefully once I'm done with it, because I know a lot of people won't appreciate me coming in every 2 seconds in my midnight face and telling you I'm exhausted and crying about that, but also whatever, I just want to go read my book, so I am going to do that. I can't wait to see where the story goes next. I'm having such a good time. Even the kid is not getting on my nerves, and usually they do, so this feels perfect. It's a good omen and sign that this video is off to better timings or whatever. It's a good start to continuing this and actually finishing it out tonight. So I'm gonna go back to my overnighter, see if I can actually pull it. But regardless, see you guys hopefully in a little bit once I'll be done with this book. I will be disheartened when I do, but so far it's giving me all the swoon I required currently, and it's getting me out of the little slump I felt like I was getting into. So see you guys hopefully in a bit with more happy updates about this book, but so far it's so good. Check triggers if you want to read, and I'm gonna go get back to it. Hi guys, so it's the next afternoon. Last night I was up till I think past 3, which is good because I've got some decent progress in. But today is also the day my mom's coming back. She's actually going to be back in half an hour, and I'm not deluded enough into thinking I can finish all of this crocheting in half an hour. That's just not happening. However, I have still picked up our book. I feel like I'll just lock the door when she comes in so she can't actually see what I'm doing and she doesn't know what I'm working on, and I'll just tell her I'm recording some other video, like, you know, throwing her off or whatever, so she doesn't have any clue about it. But regardless, I'm still gonna go keep working on it. I have finished our romance. I stayed up to listen to the rest of the audiobook, and as soon as it was done, I crashed out because I wasn't able to do anything further. But now, update on our romance book, Meet Me Halfway. I'm so happy I read this. I feel like this was better than Wait For It, but I ended up giving it 4 stars in the end because it was a good romance. It just wasn't the best. I feel like if I have to give something 5 stars, I'm extremely picky about it. I'm extremely stingy when I have to give my 5 stars. So this wasn't necessarily 5, but it was really good. It has potential, I will say that. And if you want a good old romance with angst and like slow burn tension pining, this is perfect. It's exactly what I was looking for in the moment. I feel like I'm so happy because I read this at the exact right time I needed something like this, and it gave me everything. This has like a bunch of tropes as well, and it was done correct, because if you look at book talk these days, I feel like authors are just throwing in random tropes so that when people are promoting the books on book talk, they can kind of get mentioned for the tropes. So then in this one, the tropes actually made sense and came into story because there were quite a few. It was kind of like friends to lovers, kind of like grumpy sunshine, age gap, and single mom, and you know, I had a good time reading. Garrett was so kind, endearing. He had like experience of having lived with his own mother who was also a single mom, so he sees when she needs the help and he actually goes and gives it to Madison. And you know, she has like a tougher life, but then she's trying to, you know, open up, come out of her shell, kind of grow from what happened to her earlier and move on from that and kind of heal. And the way the two of them are doing that together is so fun. I love their dynamic. I love the kid in the book, and I also loved her best friend because she's such a queen, and I had a good time. But I think it's a series and I'm not really interested in continuing, so I'll go look at the next books if I feel like it. If I'm ever in the mood, maybe I'll pick it up. But I necessarily just read this because I saw it was similar to Wait For It, and I really wanted like a Wait For It aesthetic because I've been thinking about that book lately. And I'd also seen like a quote of Pinterest or whatever for this, and you know, I'm happy I read it because when we got to that scene, I was giggling so freaking hard. I had such a good time. This is like the right kind of book wherein there's enough emotional depth that you're invested in what's going on, but you're also connected to the characters and you're like happy for them when they have their happy moments, and you're actually watching it unfold. You're actually having a good time doing so. So I had a good time reading. 4 stars, like I said. This was honestly so fun, and you know, this is like a great author, so maybe I'll go back and read some of their work or whatever, because this definitely has the potential to be 5 stars if I ever go back and reread. But for now it was just 4. Maybe I'll read it on Kindle or something. But yeah, this was a good time. I had so much fun reading it, and maybe I'll reread, but for now this was fun and I'm happy I read it. And you know, it was the perfect romance book after the kind of flop show we had for mystery. So now I'm gonna go move on to fantasy. I'm thinking I'll pick up like something that's shorter in length for a fantasy, because I'm not in the mood to listen to like an 800-page fantasy book about like war and stuff. I genuinely just don't care at the moment. So I think I'll go look for like a romantasy that's shorter, and hopefully we'll find something good on my TBR because it's huge anyway, and maybe we've got the potential. So I'll see. I'll go pick something out and I'll come update you guys hopefully in a bit. Like I said, my mom's getting back really soon, so I'll have to see what I'm going to do about that. But yeah, let's see how much of this we actually get done in today's video. If we don't finish it today, I'm thinking in some of the other vlogs I'll be recording over vacation. I'll just switch over to listening to audiobooks and kind of continuing this in the background. So it will happen in other videos. I don't know if there'll be another specific video working on this, but if you want one, definitely comment as soon as you watch this video and let me know, so I don't incorporate it in other videos and I just film something separate for it, because I can always do that. So I'll update in a little bit, because this has been one heck of an update, and you know, it's all over the place, scattered, but that's really just the way my mind's feeling right now. And you know, see you guys in a bit. Hopefully we'll update about a good fantasy now, because this video is going on quite the roll now. We had one not so great book and one really good book, so hopefully we're continuing that streak. And you know, let's see where this takes us, let's see where this goes. But that will be the last book I'm reading in this video, so hopefully it's a banger. We will see. I'll go pick something out and update when I start. Bye. Alright guys, so it's now the next evening. We've reached the end of this video because I did end up picking out a fantasy and finishing it all throughout yesterday, but I have some sort of concerning news I should give you before we get into the book review. I had this out yesterday while I was working on it and my mom kind of saw it, so she doesn't really know what it is. She's assuming it's just yarn. She was asking me what I'm making of it, so I lied obviously, but I'm kind of scared she actually realizes what I'm doing, so this is gonna have to become like a hush-hush operation now. Kind of concerned and kind of worried about that, but regardless, it's still a couple weeks to her birthday, so I still think I can pull it off. And if you want like a separate video obviously of me doing it, I'm gonna have to be a lot more careful now because I clearly wasn't yesterday and she nearly caught me and figured out what I was doing. But regardless, now into the book review. If you do want like a separate video for that though, let me know and I shall give it. But now for the book, I ended up picking up a fantasy. I told you I was in the mood for a romantasy, so I did exactly that. Went through my TBR. A few months ago, I actually saw this somewhere online and I was just like, okay, it sounds interesting enough, so I added it to my Goodreads, and now looking back, it was perfect. So I was just like, listen, hey, this is like 250 pages. That's really short for a fantasy, so I thought, maybe it'd be like a good introduction into a new world. Pick it up, and even the title is so interesting, The Witch and the Cowboy. I was hoping it kind of gives the Rebel Witch vibes, which is the second one to Heartless Hunter, because I recently read that, and we have witches there. We have like a witch hunter. Same thing here, except the girl is a witch and the guy is a witch hunter cowboy. So that's crazy because it's feeding into every single hyperfixation I have literally ever. I was hoping for something like Heartless, but also mixed with Elsie Silver magic because she writes cowboy romances, and let's just say I was thoroughly disappointed. So book review time. For premise, it essentially follows this guy called Walker, who is the cowboy witch hunter guy, whatever. He has only two priorities in life, and one is looking after his cattle, the other one is taking care and protecting his sister. Now on the other hand, we have Freya, who is the witch. She, I think, just barely turned 18 or something like that, which is really young for witches, and she has to lead her coven and other things are going on, but in the background of all of that, she actually loses her mother. So now she's out for revenge. She's out to get blood or whatever, and she actually finds out that maybe Walker is responsible for her mother's death. So she goes, she doesn't think first, she just acts on it, puts like spells on him, and then later realizes that someone was actually pinning him to go down to actually take the fall, whereas he wasn't the culprit. So now she's actually gone after the wrong guy, and someone else is really out there, her mother's killer, and now she's out to go get them. However, her coven would not actually understand her mistake. They would still incarcerate him anyway. So she ends up telling Walker that, and he decides, okay, he's gonna help her in finding the mother's killer so he can clear his name out as well, because someone's blaming him wrongfully for something he never did. And so these two kind of set out on this like weird little alliance made in the form of only knowing each other for like not even 10 odd minutes, and they're going out to find her killer, her mom's killer, and get them to justice or whatever, get her mom some justice. Except while all of that is happening, they're actually falling for each other. So is that really worth it? Because she's like a magical being or whatever, she has a whole different world, separate lives or whatever, and he's just like a simple sweet cowboy. That's the whole point of it. And I will say the world building in this was terrible because you just had random plot points thrown at you when it felt like it needed to go ahead. So when the story was stalling, random creatures and characters would be thrown at you to like push it further. And then not just that, I feel like there were so many gaps in it. Some things made literally no sense. I can go back and pinpoint so many holes I found in the book, and like theories that literally don't match up, loopholes out of nowhere, unnecessary things added to the plot, and I found it really dumb. I'm so sorry, I don't want to be mean, but that's just the way I feel about it. And I feel like there isn't a lot you can do in like a 250 page fantasy, but that's literally how I feel, because maybe it was a little too short for its length, and I know I was looking for something specific enough to be short and get done in a day, but at the same time I wasn't looking for like a disappointment. I wouldn't have minded something else, something less. So I am mad that I read it because I really didn't enjoy it. I heard it on Kindle assistive read, read out to me, and I don't know, maybe that just ruined the experience, but I had the worst time of my life. They had this like whole insta love arc as well coming in out of nowhere. They know each other for like hardly like a day or something, and they're like falling in love, and like other things are going on, other creatures jumping in out of nowhere in the woods, and like that wasn't fun. So I'm so sorry, but this just wasn't the book for me. And one of my resolutions this year isn't to like negatively criticize books a bit too much, because I want to look on the positive side. So we're gonna skip past this now, but so far I'm gonna give it like a 2.5 stars because I was thoroughly bored. it didn't even hold my attention. I kept like zoning out while it was playing, and so that's really just a sign of a book I really didn't enjoy. And now we'll skip past because I want to focus on positivity, not books I actually didn't enjoy with my time. Regardless, this is the progress I have made. I have it all folded up and like wrapped away, so it's, you know, hidden off or whatever, but I will include b-roll I think before this clip so you can actually see the final progress I got done. It's still nowhere near as complete because I want to use up this entire skein, and we've still got quite a bit of it. So again, if you want a separate video on this, definitely let me know and I'd love to provide. But regardless, we've reached the end of today's mini reading vlog because I don't really think it was that long, but also if I look back on footage I will obviously be surprised because that happens every time. I end up yapping more than I think I will, and here we are. So regardless, hopefully you guys had a fun time coming along with me, crocheting and listening to my favorite genres. And I honestly feel like we had only one good book in this video. I'm still thinking about Meet Me Halfway and hyper fixating on it, so at least we found something good, but at the same time there were a couple disappointments here and there, so we shall see. I'm also really mad that the first book I ended up picking up was Freida McFadden's older stuff because her new book actually came out a couple days ago and I could have chosen that, but I chose to go with the older stuff, so that's on me. And you know, even the fact that I chose like a smaller fantasy, again, that's literally my fault. But regardless, you know, hopefully if I do this again at some point, things will get better and I choose better picks. So if you've got like book recommendations or anything that you think I might enjoy on the basis of this taste, let me know in the comment section down below, and hopefully I'll incorporate it in like the next video I do, hopefully on this, if I end up doing something. But yeah, next time hopefully the books will be better because this video was in it. Unfortunately the vibe check didn't pass, but regardless, if you had a fun time, like, comment, share, subscribe. YouTube things, you know how to do them, and I'll see you hopefully in my next video next week very soon. Until then, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Pray that I'll find better books in next week's video. But yeah, I'm gonna go now and go look at my TBR and contemplate my life choices because why am I not finding good books right now? I don't know what the problem is. But regardless, see you guys soon and bye.